you just joined us on the System After Dark, this is a homegrown number courtesy of E3 and Cracker. Bulla, how's it going? I'm D, your host on the System After Dark, right here on Today FM. Today's hit music. You can catch me weeknights at 7 p.m. That's from Monday to Friday, only on the home of Today's hit music. And don't forget, that's D with you every weeknight on the System After Dark.
In this bulletin tonight, new flag design competition ends today. Women MPs commit to addressing violence against women. An entry to Nandi Airport departure area to be restricted. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The national design competition for the new flag has come to an end today. Akusita Tale reports there has been a great response from the public since the competition started 2 months ago.
More than 580 individual entries in our national competition to design a new flag has been received as of yesterday. Speaking at Mangondo District School in Ba today, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama said the response has been overwhelming and he's confident more will be received this afternoon. Entries have been received from all walks of life across the country, from overseas and from all sections of the community. Bainimarama has thanked all Fijians for embracing the noble initiative to embrace a new flag. The Prime Minister says they will now start sifting through the entries and examining various concepts in detail. He says the final design may well reflect the work of a few people rather than just one or two. Bainimarama has assured the nation they will come up with a design Fijians can be proud of, because this is about strengthening our identity as Fijians and reinforcing the notion of one nation, one Fiji. A national committee will soon be chosen to judge the entries and choose the most appropriate design following the end of the 2-month competition. Assistant Minister for Youth and Sports Ilyas Sandelana is the chairperson of the National Panel of Citizens, which government has envisaged to consist of up to 10 to 15 members from all walks of life. The whole selection process has been designed to ensure the new flag is hoisted on the 45th anniversary of independence on October 10th, 2015. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Women parliamentarians from the Pacific, including Fiji, have acknowledged a huge challenge that lies ahead of them. At the end of the Pacific Women's Parliamentary Forum in Suva today, participants have committed to working towards total eradication of violence against women in their countries.
The 52 participants of the Pacific Women's Parliamentary Forum now have a huge task ahead of them to put into action what's been discussed over the last 3 days.
That we've raised the points and issues and concerns that each country have, and addressing the issue has actually been tabled, but implementation is the part. Again, falling back on us parliamentarian women is the fact that we have to action our legislation.
During the forum, participants shared their country experience of domestic or family violence and what's being done to stop it.
The cultural aspects of some families, they don't want to report it because of the shame on the family or the shame of the victim. And these are the things that we have learned now. So we are going to have our family bill. It is ready, but we have to go through it again, and then we will have to pass in the House.
During Parliament last week, we had a very sad incident. A woman being asked by a mentally affected partner. And what was very pleasing was the community played their role by telephoning the number that they've been informed, which is a free line 193. So I think the community is very well aware where to go to, where to find help.
For us back in our upper north small islands scattered, gender equality is an issue that never been discussed. It's always, most of the time, it's a man-dominant society that parliamentarian women are never even an issue for us.
The discussions also revealed that alcohol is the main cause of family violence in almost all Pacific Island countries.
In Fiji, you have this cover that, you drink cover and it numbs your whole body. Hey, give us some of that cover so our men go out and drink cover, come home, they just go straight to bed. And so don't have time to violate their women.
The participants agreed that the forum has broadened their knowledge of what they can do as parliamentarians to enforce legislation on the eradication of family violence. They will now take what they have learned from the forum and apply it in the context of their home country. Eleanor Turangaiviu, FBC News.
Police have released the name of a man wanted in connection with the Aratan mobile service station robbery in Nadi on Monday morning. Police are requesting information that could assist in locating Tupo Vuataki, who is wanted for his alleged involvement in a series of aggravated robberies within the Nadi-Lautoka corridor. Anyone with information is requested to call 9906-881, 917 or 919 or their nearest police station. A reward is being offered for information that will lead to his arrest. All calls will be treated with strict confidentiality. The modernisation of Nadi Airport is now entering into its most significant phase, with work starting next week on the airport terminal. This will restrict the movement to only passengers checking in for flights. Christopher Chand reports.
From next week, families and friends won't be allowed into the departure area. This is due to construction work on the terminal.
But it's only temporary for a period of 1 year because we are trying to build something really new and modern.
Only passengers will be allowed into the check-in areas. Another significant change is this temporary bus bay.
This is, as I have said, the most challenging part of the construction because we are demolishing the whole building and redoing it. To do so whilst continuing to operate, that's challenging.
These staff were recruited specifically to look after passengers checking in during this period of inconvenience.
At no stage will we have less than 22 check-in counters available to the public. It comes back to that customer focus and being able to maintain that while we construct.
The airport upgrades have been hampered by delays in the arrival of steel, pushing the completion of the modernisation project to April next year. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Still to come, families now have piped water.
Nisambula, oyo Mr. Ben. Kelapa. Nama kikira na vima taka moni tikira vorumbu kama na ono kena liwa Nabula FM.
Great words there from Lucky Dube and Baban. I hope you enjoyed that number. Different colors just for you on Gold FM. Only the classic hits. Louise with you on the Center Show. Well, thank you so much for the sweet company. This is Alana Miles, one of my favorites, and Black Velvet for you. Hi there. Join me on the Center Show every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the best sounds on Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
The tourism sector continues to outperform expectations according to the latest economic review by the Reserve Bank of Fiji. Arrivals grew by 7.3% growth in arrivals in the first 3 months of 2015. Edwin Nund reports.
Apart from a buoyant tourism sector, Fiji is seeing positive investment indicators. Cement sales, which hint at construction, grew by 34% up to March, while new loans in real estate, building and construction sectors spiked by 73%. These are indicative of sustained economic growth, which the ANZ Bank spoke of earlier this week.
The lending rates within the country on the business side as well have been quite strong. And it's broadening, it's manufacturing, it's transport and communication, it's construction and building, it's in real estate. So the government spending on the infrastructure is sending the right signals within the economy as a whole.
The Reserve Bank's job ad survey, which shows vacancies, grew in community, social and personal services, construction, finance, insurance, real estate and the business service sectors.
2014 was actually the highest for over a decade. So to us it appears that the labour side of the equation is starting to improve. And as, again, the capital side of the economic equation improves, typically it brings labour with it. So we would expect, as this economic growth continues, that the unemployment rate would fall.
Liquidity in the market stands at $603 million. So basically, while there's a lot of money circulating in personal and business loans, there's still more to go around. The recent drop in fuel prices is expected to ease inflation in the coming months. Edwin Nand, FBC News.
A rural settlement in Singatoka Valley now has access to a proper water supply. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama visited Nakavika settlement to celebrate the arrival of this basic need to their doorsteps. Christopher Chand reports.
This rural setting is home to Nakavika settlement, a farming community living here since the 1950s. Yesterday, the residents celebrated one of their biggest achievements.
Today is a happy and historic day for all of us in that you now have a source of drinking water. We all know how important water is in our lives. You will see that a lot more developments have been undertaken by government to the satisfaction of all Fijians.
Not too long ago, the families relied on the Singatoka River for their daily water needs. Now piped water from an underground supply is being pumped direct to their houses.
I recognize the struggle you face as commercial farmers to make ends meet and the challenges you already face in getting a return for your produce. And I'm very pleased that we have been able to provide you with this vital resource to improve your lives.
The water is very important here. Our school children are going to school every morning. Without water, they have to run to the river. They take some hours to come back again. Sometimes they have to walk back here to the school.
For thousands of consumers who receive water in their taps, most of the time it's something we take for granted. However, the families of Nakavika will be treasuring this special occasion and will no doubt be talking about it for a long time to come. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
The Ministry of Women and Poverty Alleviation will try to locate families of some mentally ill homeless people before it decides to provide accommodation for them. Minister Rosie Akbar is urging the public to accept mental illness and care for people in such conditions. Savara Tambor reports.
St. Giles Hospital in Suva currently accommodates 63 patients. The ministry is currently considering how to accommodate at least another 20 mentally ill homeless people.
We are still working closely with the St. Giles to see how long they'll be kept here and what the diagnosis is. First of all, we need to establish that, the extent of the illness. And after that, the second stage is to locate families, which I think is very difficult because these are the members who were pushed out of homes by their families.
The hospital has been creating awareness about mental health and still faces many obstacles.
Families especially are not willing to look after such people who are mentally disabled. Sometimes there are families who are really supportive and helping the people and coming up now, but there are also families who doesn't want to look after them and they just want to neglect the person.
It's hoped the intervention program by the ministry with the support of authorities and the public will make a difference in the lives of the vulnerable members of the community. Sabira Tambua, FBC News.
5 men who received harsh sentences last week for a bank robbery reappeared in court today, charged with another robbery that took place in the same week. Devita Sungu, Josiah Usumaki, Solomon Ngurai, Epeli Ngarningio and Deshwar Dutt face charges of aggravated robbery in connection with the robbery of Suva's Peninsula Hotel in 2012. The hotel robbery took place in the same week as the Samambula BSP robbery. The accused will appear in court again on June 3rd to make a plea in the case. The 5 suspects were sentenced last week to terms from 2 to 17 years for the BSP robbery. Well, Press Freedom Day will be celebrated this Sunday. However, the Journalism School of the University of the South Pacific today marked the occasion with a function. Veteran journalists as well as students of the journalism program celebrated the event with an open forum. Ellen Stahls reports.
Pacific Islands News Association President Moses Stevens spoke to a room full of journalism students and reminded them of the crucial role they play in society, in particular in their own communities.
Do not forget your roots, where you come from. How do you communicate within your localities, in your village, in your island communities? It may be different from how we do it in Vanuatu, how in new way they do it.
He added that to be transparent and accountable, the media needs to be free. The president of the Fijian Media Association, Ricardo Morris, says it's about time that journalists strengthen the bonds between them, which is one of the reasons why the Media Association was revived after decades of neglect.
We believe in the concept of all for one and one for all. So when one of us gets attacked, even though we may not work for the same company, it's our moral duty to stand up and protect them.
Speakers shared their personal experiences and gave their advice to the younger student journalists in the room.
The message for today is quality journalism begins with us, and how much we are willing to invest in ourselves and how much we are willing to give of ourselves.
World Press Freedom Day was proclaimed by the United Nations General Assembly in December 1993 following the recommendation of UNESCO's General Conference. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
We turn to sports now. Here's Jamie with the very latest.
Nakadzaki and good evening. Coming up in sports, ONOC cautions regional athletes on anti-doping rules ahead of Pacific Games, and work commences on Churchill Park upgrade. Details after the break.
छू 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 हे हे नमस्ते फीजी, आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
Yoni borong tu mai na radio Fiji 1 totoka tunan raki na ngona ni ko ni takini ni nandoba tu mai na ngona go me ga ben na ruwa na go pinga rabi na singale ni ko ni sangulo binaka oya wana kamana langi na makia na bi mataka mai na diwa ki na ruwa na bi singale bo mai na moni tikina borong bo kan radio Fiji 1 nando mai biti bonga ni bi ni adu.
The inclusion of sevens rugby in the 2016 Rio Olympic Games will be a boost for teams from the Oceania region. So says International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach, who is in the country for the Oceania National Olympic Committee's General Assembly in Suva tomorrow. Bach says teams in the region such as Fiji, New Zealand and Samoa now have an added chance of a podium finish in Rio.
It's about sports, and there I think rugby sevens will be a great addition to the games, having seen the great success already in the Youth Olympic Games, and for Oceania it's a unique opportunity.
The ONOC General Assembly will be held tomorrow at the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva. The Oceania National Olympic Committees will be coming down hard on athletes who breach anti-doping rules in the upcoming Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea in July. ONOC's Medical Commission is educating national Olympic committees around the region on the provisions of what athletes can and can't take as stipulated under the World Anti-Doping Agency.
Yeah, we're very concerned to make sure that athletes from the Pacific don't infringe and affect their good name and the good name of this part of the world. Pacific people are very trusting people, and they might read stuff on the internet and think, oh, because this famous athlete is using this stuff, therefore it's okay for me to use, and that's not always the case. And so it's our job, and we work pretty closely with Orado. We've got a great working relationship with them to make sure that the anti-doping rules that are worldwide are complied with.
Dr. Millen is in the country as part of the ONOC General Assembly and associated meetings at the Grand Pacific Hotel in Suva. The main sporting venue in Lautoka, Churchill Park, is undergoing a major facelift. The project is expected to cost about $4.5 million. Josephine Navula has the details.
Groundwork started today, 4 months after the park was closed to the public. Last weekend's victory of two Lautoka-based schools at the annual National Schools Athletics Competition, the Coca-Cola Games, have spurred the City Council to move on the project.
The council was compelled to install the athletic tracks after the first win for the Jasper Williams High School way back in 2013. Now that they've won 3 times in a row, and Natumbo has won again in 2015 for the boys division, we already made a commitment to do that for the betterment of athletics in the Western Division and the promotion of athletics in the Western Division.
The sporting arena in the city will receive a major facelift.
We'll be installing 8-lane 400-meter tracks, synthetic tracks, to allow for the athletics competition to be held here, and as a result of that we'll be removing the embankments, and also we have also removed the Pavilion C to cater for the extension.
This lift is expected to be completed by the end of the year, and the council hopes to host the Coca-Cola Games in 2016. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
Over 40 sailors from the Pacific region are in the country for the Oceania Championships, which got underway today in Suva. Most of the participants are in line for a Pacific Games appearance in Papua New Guinea and are using this competition to gauge themselves ahead of the Games. Talendao Dakadaka has more.
These sailors received their final briefing on safety and regulations before the Oceania Championship got underway at the National Sailing Centre in Suva. The participants, hailing from Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, Samoa and Cook Islands, have come well prepared for the competition.
They've just finished the ENP clinic, which is the Emerging Nations program for under 19. So they've had a week's training in sailing, and they finished off with races on yesterday. And they're all waiting to get out. They were here early this morning, ready to go.
For some, the program has boosted their chances to win first place.
I enjoyed this thing because this is like my second time sailing Oceania Games, and I want to win this Oceania Games because it is held in Fiji.
The Oceania Sailing Federation says Fiji is fortunate to host the program, the first of its kind in the world.
This is the very first of this kind of program that's run anywhere in the world, and Fiji is very fortunate to be the #1 choice to host this program. And it amazingly it had gone really well, and with many young quality sailors have emerged out of this program.
The competition will conclude on Monday. These sailors will soak up as much as they can over the next 3 days and will come out the better for it. Talendao Dakadaka, FBC Sports.
Team Fiji is hoping to bag a total of 83 gold medals at the Pacific Games in Papua New Guinea in July. With a host of young, bright prospects set to make their debut in the regional competition, Athletics Fiji has set a target of a minimum of 10 gold medals from the 44 that are on offer in the track and field events.
The feedback that we've got from the various sports that's going, from the 28 sports that's going to the game, we're looking at 83 gold medals. It's a task, it's a goal that we have set ourselves. It'll be very challenging for us. Athletic is one of the sports that will perform well or will contribute a lot to that 83 gold medals, because in athletics there's 44 gold medals at stake. You know, some would say that athletic is a minor sport, but I would say in any regional game, athletic is a major sport, because in all the gold medals, you take up all the gold medals, athletic offer 44 gold medals.
The Pacific Games will be held from the 4th to the 18th of July. That was your sports for tonight. Good evening.
Future Forest Fiji has improved its performance in the 9 months ending March 31st. In a release to the South Pacific Stock Exchange, the company says net loss totaled just over $300,000. In the previous financial year, losses came to $534,000. Revenue went up by $279,000 thanks to the sale of teak seedling and saw milling operations. Future Forest specializes in growing and using teak and other high-value species such as mahogany, vessi and sandalwood. Across the nation, there was generally fine weather today with occasional scattered showers early in the day. Mombasa recorded the highest temperature at 32, while Suva and Ba followed at 32 degrees. Expect another cool night tonight as temperatures drop into the low 20s. The forecast to midnight tomorrow for the Fiji group, mostly fine weather with occasional scattered showers and strong winds with an average speed of 45 kilometers per hour, gusting to 55. Very rough seas. The outlook for Sunday, fine apart from brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, strong southeast winds over most places, heavy southerly swells developing. And the main points again. Prime Minister Borenge Bainimarama says there has been a wonderful response from the public in the National Flag Design Competition, which closed this afternoon. Police have called on the public to help locate the Povo Otaki, who is wanted for his alleged involvement in the Airtown mobile service station robbery in Nandi on Monday morning. And from Tuesday, families and friends won't be allowed into the departure area at Nandi International Airport as construction work will begin on the terminal. Now to the poll question for this week, we're asking, should there be more organized activities for students during the school holidays? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You can also find us on YouTube, FBC TV 2011. That's the news for tonight. Be sure to join Akosita Tale from tomorrow with our weekend bulletin. I'll be back again on Monday. Till then, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Ni modamanda.
घर संसार में आपका स्वागत है। आपका अपना छोटा सा स्वर, जहाँ प्यार भरे रिश्ते पलते हैं, जहाँ हेल्थी रहने की सलाह दी जाती है, जहाँ हम आपको और भी सुंदर बनाते हैं और जहाँ स्वाद की सौगात भी है। नमस्कार, मैं हूँ पल्लवी। सोमवार से शुक्रवार 9 से 12 तक रेडियो FBC 2 देश की धड़कन पर घर संसार में शामिल रहिए मेरे साथ। ऐसा सुंदर सपना अपना